Yo, what's up, guys? So, bit of a weird one. I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream too long today. Still in the process of figuring it out. Let's figure this out while we play a little bit more. Basically, I have a scheduling conflict. I might not be able to reschedule. I'll get a call soon. We'll see if, maybe we can work something out. But there is a chance I might literally have to end my stream in like an hour. In which case, I might start it again much later today. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Dragons? We'll see. I don't know if I have enough time to even try out another deck. Also, I'm not going to lie. I actually really just am enjoying Soraka Tahm Kench. It's really interesting and unique to build. And honestly, dragons are just kind of really boring to me. I'm gonna be real with Chaw. Also, Hunting Fleet is fucking crazy. Soraka Tahm is so fun. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this deck. Dragons are literally just like, another flavor of Demacia. We already have enough. We'll see, though. We'll see. I may yet get bored of this deck. I may yet. Moist.
You pay, I talk to spirits. These are my rules.
Not doing very much here. Alright. Whew. Catalyst, huh? Second Catalyst is interesting. It's a little spooky. There's a consideration to start taking Guiding Touches over Tom. The idea is basically like, the earlier I draw into Starship... Like, this is a matchup where, hilariously enough, there's actually very little that matters other than drawing into, like, Star Shaping or Star Spring early. It's like slamming Tom down is really adorable. Doesn't really do that much. Swain TF is still the best deck. Yeah, Swain TF is still really good. Lee Sin is still really good. I mean, the meta hasn't changed that much. I unironically think this deck has tier 1 potential though, for real. Sorry that I'm kind of like a little slow today. I'm still kind of like waking up. Bit of a hectic morning. Oh. What do you think about Swain Shyvana? Sounds terrible. Hot take for dragons: you only main deck Shyvana and Vox and get the rest of the dragons from Vox and Egghead. That is a hot take. It doesn't sound great. I do think that like Screaming Dragon is pretty good in general. Wait, what is he gonna do when I acquired Taste his ass? Wait, what? What do you do here? Buddy? Guy? Hello? Okay. Yum. Huh. Neat. Cool. So next turn he's gonna have 3 plus 8, which is 11, enough to Vengeance and then pop the shield. We do want to not... We do want to not overcommit health to Tahm Kench, when health might not necessarily actually be how Tahm Kench wins. We want to go for the health win condition. I think we can go for 1 Guiding Touch. I mean, he really just can't kill my Tahm Kench by dealing damage. I'll actually heal my Krusty Codger. He's literally only killing my Tahm Kench with Vengeance. So why would I heal my Tahm Kench? I mean, honestly, we don't have Star Spring. It's getting pretty late. I think at this point I hired Gun just so I can open attack and deal 8. It's kind of sad, but We're not drawing Star Spring. If I Guiding Touch now and hit it, we could be golden. It's so hard to just like kill him with raw stats. Does that ever happen? This is a 1 out of 10. Yikes. Okay, we'll heal Tahm Kench once just because that's our last Guiding Touch. But only just because that's our last Guiding Touch. Can't this shit just lose a ton to destroying the landmark? Surprisingly, no. There's some matchups where destroying the landmark feels really bad. This isn't one of them. Or sorry, this is one of them, but this is the one where they don't have landmark destruction. This is like the only matchup in the entire game where I feel actively horrible when they destroy my landmark. Or when I don't draw it. Most of the matchups, the landmark is definitely very powerful, but not essential to my win con. And they always trade down when they destroy my landmark too. Because I paid 2 mana, they paid 3, and I'll also have gotten some amount of triggers off of it before they're able to kill it. Which is really, really valuable. Is Sunblessed Vigor worth a slot? I'm liking it as a 1-of right now. It's just like a nice addition to the toolbox. Having like just more cheap tricks is really great. Being able to reliably keep stuff alive is pretty important. So this is interesting. I'm gathering he wants to ruinate. He wants me to like acquired taste his Ice Pillar. I'm never gonna do that. I kind of always have to pass here. Mostly ruination is kind of what we're losing to. He's burning 3 more mana than me, and he's the one under pressure to start playing stuff. The funny thing is, if I eat the Ice Pillar, I'm actually saving its life, because then when I go to Ruinate, I guess I could hush the Tahm Kench. I don't want to. But then when he goes to Ruinate, his Ice Pillar survives the Ruination if I eat it, whereas it doesn't if I don't. Yeah, this is a bad start to a game. Like this is a matchup where Star Spring is pretty important. Am I just eating the Tryndamere with Astral? Guess so. I mean, he's tapped out. Yum. I don't know. That's so funny. Jesus. So I mean, he can't really kill my Tahm. I have ways to protect it. That's a late Star Spring. Yikes. I mean, I could, like, worst case scenario, if he does like a Ruination, I can do Bastion, and then when he pops the Bastion, then I can hush my Tahm, maybe. Bastion just kind of has to be worth it. If he doesn't have the Vile Feast, Bastion punishes him so hard here. Could have Troll Chant too. Man, Bastion's definitely getting countered. There's literally just no way Bastion doesn't get countered here. If I hush Tahm Kench, I mean, we're basically just trading down the board. And then I'll like slowly redevelop into a kill. Hushing Tahm Kench is actually so much safer. It's really weird. It's ridiculously easy for his hand to pop Bastion. Like, the odds of him being able to pop Bastion here are actually absurdly high. This is actually the safer play. Just Bastion? I don't think Bastion's correct here. Yeah, just play Soraka Lizard, looks good.
Let me guide you.
Come on, Levi. Not again.
We often lose our ability to attack safely without open attacking. Yeah, drawing Star Spring a little late here. I actually don't think I can afford to potentially lose 2 charges. I have to play the Star Spring before I attack. I actually have to greed these charges at this point in the game. Lizard is super strong. I'm still not sure how I feel about Lizard's position in this deck, honestly. I currently cut it down to like a 1 of. It feels... I don't know. It looks so strong on paper, but something about... I was only playing it for the first half of yesterday. And something about Lizard just feels so... awkward. We got 1 unit here. I should be able to kind of like devastate his board. Yeah, that is pretty free for me. So we can deal like maximum face damage here, I think.
Get bloody. Get
Maximum face damage would be hard gun or Soraka into the Weirding Stones. Healing the Boxtopus has to be better here. And then Soraka will just start the draw engine. Looks pretty good. We can save Pale for later. Really no reason to Pale here. What's the Hunting Fleet for? So Hunting Fleet is crazy in this deck. So when you think about it, what does this deck need? Well, this deck needs early units with good stat lines, because you need to heal your units, and for that you need your units to keep alive. You really want units that have high health stat lines, right? Like Tahm Kench and Soraka are good. You want early high health stat lines so that you have the ability to survive like big hits and then heal back up to full. And you also want ways of being able to damage your own units, and Hunting Fleet gives you both. It's a 4-mana 6/6. It stops like so much aggression. And the downside of Hunting Fleet is it's not really necessarily amazing against like aggro, but the list already does fine against the aggro. It really fits perfectly into this deck. It's kind of crazy. Kind of weird. I mean, Soraka can just block Alpha Wildclaw. So this is actually a really nice Alpha Wildclaw attack for me. It's really hard for him to exploit this in any way. So, like, check out what's happening here, right? We can just block this. We don't really need our unit challenger anymore. And then we can just go ahead and Bastion up the Soraka. This will keep her just outside of kill range, and then she'll potentially full heal. And then that will actually allow the Star Spring win condition to be, you know, have a chance of happening. Because even though we drew it really late, when Soraka heals to full off of this, plus maybe even some Blessed Vigor, depending on what we choose to do, that just like does a shit ton off of Star Spring. The only question is, like, do you ever want to Pale preemptively? I think the simple fact that lounging Lizard with the Pale is a lot of the times how we're ending the game might make us unable to do that. Just go like this. So the Soraka goes up to 3 health. Wait a second. Why did the Soraka just gain 1 health? That was... the animation was just weird. The second Star Spring was really delayed from the first one. I get it. Okay, sure. So, I mean, we can just kind of, like, double shake down the board and try to threaten winning here, I think. So we, like, shake down the Soraka. Shouldn't really matter what we're making vulnerable. We're really just doing it to deal damage. And then because we left the Weirding Stones alive, now the Soraka has the ability to challenge the stones, like this. And we can try to threaten lethal with Pale Cascade. Honestly, this is kind of the most Pale Cascade is doing anyway. So yeah, this is fine. So this left Star Spring just kind of casually went to 18, which is really funny. Like, we drew Star Spring so late into the game. It's crazy. Alright, so he's got Vengeance. Vengeance means he loses here. Vengeance is no good against my options.
Live with purpose.
I'm still good to scrap.
Ooh, actually, we are... The left Star Spring does go first, so we're kind of like one turn delayed. Yeah, we don't have lethal at the end of this turn. We're actually really just short of it. Because even though we have a heal 4, and even though we're 18 out of 22, they count left to right. It's really weird how it works. It counts left to right, and it only checks to win the game when it's healing. So like the left one will go off and heal and check, and then it'll fail its check. And then the right one will go off and heal and check, and then fail its check. So we actually can't do anything there. Oh, that feels kind of bad. Shakedown. But Shakedown doesn't do anything here. Shakedown does literally nothing on this board. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't cycle, it doesn't... The one thing it does is, like... it could make our win con slightly more reliable after surviving his next turn. Potentially. Does it? I don't know. I mean, I guess we're not gonna need it for anything else. I guess I can use Shakedown here. But yeah, it doesn't do anything here. It's fixed. Wait, is it fixed? Did they wait, they changed that interaction? Oh, did they hotfix it? It was a really counterintuitive interaction. The wording is different, isn't it? Then once I've seen you heal 22 plus damage? That's so interesting. Why use it on the 2-3? Yeah, I'm supposed to use it on the lizard because he could have grasp. They fixed Sunburst. Wait, does he not know that did it get changed? Am I getting baited? I'm gonna pass. Does he lose? I got baited. Nice, good job, guys. Well done. You got me. Teehee, you did it.
Not again.
Well done, guys. I hope you're happy. Are people actually running Crumble? How many people are running Crumble in their decks?
I will find the goodness in you, River King.
Hope only provides temporary sustenance, child. Smashing!
There isn't a way to rearrange landmark positions? No, there's not. There's no way to rearrange. So, as far as I know, there's one way in the entire game to make it so that the second Star Spring you play triggers before the first, which is you have to play a unit before you played the first Star Spring, and then you play the second Star Spring after your board is full, overriding the unit that you played before the first Star Spring and stealing its spot. I think that's literally the only way to get the second Star Spring to trigger first. I mean, we're beating, like, atrocity stuff, I guess. We're all in. That's right. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Don't kill Ledros? Unfortunately, I mean, we can't not kill Ledros. Also, letting him replay Ledros this turn doesn't do anything. You also can't attack with that unit.
Today we have determined our own fate.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think if you ever attack with that unit, it messes it up. That sounds right. The Star Spring thing needs clarification. It is pretty unintuitive at first. Once you understand how, like, if you're familiar with how the logic of the game works, it is actually consistent with the game's logic, but it is not intuitive logic. Have you messed around with Siobhan at all? In my head, I have. I don't know. Am I okay? How dumb am I for mulliganing away Soraka against discard? Am I just really stupid? What do you guys think? I guess I kind of have to keep Soraka. God damn it. Big dumb. Yeah, I have to be big dumb. It's a free Draven blocker. Soraka's good against aggro. She's solid. She's aight. She's okay. The landmark literally had the number 22 above it. How is that not a visual bug if it doesn't proc the win condition? Because, so it literally says, heal damaged allies 1, then once I've seen you heal 22 plus damage from allies, win the game. And because of this word right here, because of this word then, it means that at the round end, this all happens. So at the round end, it heals damage allies 1. And then, if it's 22, then you win the game. And then the round end goes left to right. So the first Star Spring goes up to 20. Second Star Spring goes, which boosts the first Star Spring up to 22. But the first Star Spring has already checked and failed its check, right? Which is important. I guess I can pass there. I mean, he's not gonna skip this attack. Like, it is logically consistent. The only problem is that it's very counterintuitive. Yeah, and this is why we don't really like keeping Soraka in the opening hand. I think it's still proper, but it does feel bad when I don't have like a turn 1 or a turn 2 play. Like, this should be a pretty favored matchup, but just without having a turn 1 or a turn 2 play, sometimes you lose. Which feels terrible. She actually doesn't heal if she doesn't have a support. That's pretty funny. How bad is that?
Enjoy the night sky.
Yeah, I mean, we're losing either way. The fact that she doesn't heal if she doesn't have a supported unit is actually a real limitation on weird boards like this. We've got touch for face. I mean, we can survive one more attack. It's really not the worst thing ever here. It's not ideal.
Rules are made to be broken. Like buildings.
That is kind of the worst thing ever. I mean, I can't kill the Draven through Battlecaster. Or, sorry, I can't kill the Jinx through Battlecaster and Spinning Axe. I mean, I can block and kill the Draven. Yeah, we should lose. Our best play is to like Guiding Touch and then Pale Cascade, block and kill Draven. Which, ooh, he's got an extra jury rig too. Nasty. My health is kind of at 2 here. That's not good. And this is kind of why, don't get me wrong, I think keeping Soraka in opening hand is probably necessary. But this is why I sometimes don't do it. Because, like, you can actually lose if you don't have an early drop. And Soraka doesn't really help you come back from situations like this. I don't know. I think we might have needed to mulligan Soraka there. Either way, it's pretty close. Either way, Soraka's not like, just like a, yeah, always auto keep this against aggro. For sure. Like, she's pretty terrible against aggro. Unless you, like, are already stable, right? She's not a stabilizer. Should die to anything here. If he doesn't have direct damage, there could be some weird world where we're okay.
No more of your crap soup, lassie, please. It's that soup. You've been drinking this?
Stars fall.
Aye, right. Where are you off to?
Take heart. Your possibilities are
You'd have to have a really bricked out hand, though.
live with purpose. Take heart.
Oh, he doesn't have Get Excited. Oh, Mystic Shot. He discarded. He's running the University of Piltover. He just discarded it. So, the University of Piltover, it's like a jury rig that doesn't summon a robot. Got it.
All of us are immortal.
You. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of already enough here. Like, even top decks are never good here. Uni fits in the discard deck because it's the best discard target. Yeah, that's pretty awkward. Like, we shouldn't be losing games like that. This is why I've considered running a couple more 1-drops. So, basically what's happening here is, like, we have a deck that's kind of like, it's fundamentally positioned in the triangle in a way that makes it great against aggro. And, you know, naturally what you want to do is kind of like, you want to spread the matchups a little bit more even, right? You want to make your deck not overcommit against stuff like aggro so that it has better tables against other things, but we've definitely pulled out a lot against the aggro matchup. Like, we don't have as many just like early 1-drops and 2-drops. Because the version we started with, we were running like 6 1-drops and like 12 2-drops. And we're down to like 3, and arguably, it depends on if we're counting Croaker as a 2-drop. Is playing the landmark turn 2 correct? Usually. Pretty much the only situation where it's not correct to play it on 2 is if it's not healing anything on 2 and you've got a better play. Nice Hecarim. Kick aggressively for synergy here. Yeah, we can take an aggressive kick. The only problem with taking an aggressive kick here is sometimes the Star Spring won't work. It's like when you aggressive kick because you have Star Spring in hand and you find like second Star Spring, that feels really bad. You don't really want to be drawing 2 of this card. Please cut the terrible fleet. This fleet is a crazy card. You are insane, my friend. Like, I don't even know what evaluation would say this card is bad, except that it hasn't seen competitive play yet. Like, Hunting Fleet has won so many games. I could see an argument to run like 2 instead of 3, maybe. But I don't think I have anything better to cut it for. Fleet is the mid-range destroyer? Basically, yeah. I mean, like, what does a Dragons deck do when they play, like, Screeching Dragon and you play a 6/6? Hunting Fleet was always good, and now it has a deck it belongs in. I think that's the way I'd put it. That's a good way to put it. It wasn't a bad card, it just didn't have a deck, and now it does. So, I mean, we have to play Boxtopus or Starspring. There's no benefit playing Boxtopus here. There's nothing that's going to make us attack with Boxtopus. Wisefry will steal more games than Fleet. Well, they're very different cards. They're not trying to do the same thing at all. Wisefry is trying to do the same thing as like Shakedown and Lounging Lizard, basically just trying to create more damaged units, whereas Fleet is trying to be like an efficient anti-mid-range stat tool. Fleet is much better than Wisefry. Like, it's actually, they're like 3 tiers apart. This guy is AFK. Nope. Huh. What is he doing at 2 mana? That makes me feel bad. Butcher. I mean, I guess I have to Soraka here.
Let me guide you. I understand.
I mean, this feels pretty solid. Between like Boxtopus, Soraka, plus the floated trick, we have some pretty good options. I don't think we really have the ability to play Tahm Kench out here, is the one thing.
Not afraid. Just a wee bit plain.
The scariest thing he could have is like the 1 damage pings, and Pale Cascade isn't an ideal answer, but the fact that I'm safe against what would otherwise be a big blowout is kind of all I really want. So I can just kind of do this, right?
I can be patient.
And I can play the second Boxtopus later, because I don't even want to challenge her with the second Boxtopus. Yeah, I guess I'll just do this. Can't really do anything else. It's slightly awkward. Like, he does have spooky wide board. My Soraka's leveled. If I play the Starspring, I get to draw a card for free, because my leveled Soraka will have the heal trigger this turn before, like, when the round is ending off the Starspring, which is cute. But isn't that also true if I just play Boxtopus now, like a normal human being?
Let his knee out.
Because it should heal the left Boxtopus, and then Soraka should level. And then it should heal the right Boxtopus, and then she should draw me a card.
Live with purpose.
I don't know, I have a decent enough board here. At 14 health, I feel fairly safe.
Board.
It's gonna be pretty awkward, like, potentially trading down this board. I guess playing Tahm Kench here is fine. Super solid. I mean, you can just Kench into Pale even.
Aye. Is dinner on you then?
In an ideal universe, I'd be able to keep as many Boxtopuses alive as possible. I think it's kind of greedy to do that. I think I'm just kind of supposed to trade down the board. How much damage are we taking if we do this? We're taking 2 damage.
My comestibles are getting cold.
I understand.
I mean, if we trade down the board, we should just win. Like, this kind of just has to be way safer than anything else we could do. We're not even in that much of a hurry. If he has, like, Vehu and Dur... No, we've got Hush. We're good. We're fine. Like, as long as we play it safe, we're good against pretty much everything.
With purpose.
We don't need the Boxtopusses. Not here. Not now.
Appetizers are plenty.
So I mean, Soraka will trigger a few more heals, especially like using her proactively like this. It's pretty solid. It's a pretty great fleet as well. Yeah, I mean, I can just fleet now. Fleeting now is great, right? You can't really punish this. So this is like, I mean, fleet's pretty great. Start by eating Wraith. I guess that leaves me pretty flexible. I don't really like that. So, like, when we look at what fleet does here, it basically gives us a blocker, and it allows us to damage off of another unit. Obviously, he played Butcher here, so he's playing a 0 mana card to stop us from actually attacking with fleet. I guess the 6/6 can get in, because if he blocks... I mean, he's not going to block the fleet, but no real downside to this. But normally, just like allowing myself to get damage onto my unit is great. So the reason why this deck wants vulnerable so badly, the reason fleet is good is the same reason anything that gives enemies vulnerable is good in this deck. Because we don't really care about face damage at all, but we really want the ability to attack their units. Not just for survivability and trading efficiently, but because that's also how we accelerate our game plan with Starsprang. We need to generate damaged units. We need to generate damaged units. Yeah, I guess I can just taste this. Whatever. Sheriff? Sheriff's bad. Sheriff's basically, like when you compare Sheriff to Shakedown, you'd kind of always just rather run Shakedown. The way this deck plays out, you always have something to damage that's not going to matter. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, we're probably supposed to pass there. It's a little bit safer than, like, eating with Tahm Kench, I guess. Whatever. Am I ever getting punished for tapping out here? Nah. So yeah, he kind of has this last turn to kill us. He has to play like an Endure right now, if he has it. And then he has to hope we don't have Hush, which we do. Yeah, we're good.
What a commendable achievement.
But yeah, that's kind of how this deck works. I know it seems weird, but that's why Shakedown and Hunting Fleet are great here. Lounging Lizard is alright. I think Lizard might be full bait. I completely cut it yesterday. I put it back as a 1-of today. Really not sure what I want to do with that slot. Seasonal tournaments got announced. Oh, huge, dude. Here, I'll have to check out after this game. Did they just get announced, like, just now? Oh, damn. Yeah, let me, right after this game, I'll pull that up and watch it. Ionia Targon, no champions. So it's an elusives deck is kind of the only thing it could be with Ionia Targon, no champions. Honestly, keeping a hired gun in my opening hand in this matchup could actually be really sweet. We'll see about it. Yeah, this is why. That feels good. Holy shit. So we saw we were attacking on turn 2. We saw he was Ionia Targon, which has to be elusives. It can't be anything else. So we kept hired gun in our opening hands. A big blowout. Huge. If I play Starspring, he'll attack into me. But I also need to enable fleet next turn, so I have to play the Starspring now. Is it worth just letting the goat live, honestly?
Bring me tea to gain the strength of rivers. I'll find that narwhal yet. Psst, act natural. I got you.
Giving elusives to an elusive deck? Guys, it's vulnerable. Narwhal's not like a real card. Like, unless he does something really weird like palm my fleet this turn, like, it doesn't... Narwhal isn't... Like, think of hunting fleet like a 4-mana 6/4 that comes out damaged. Like, Narwhal... We don't play Narwhal before their attack, and we just kill the Narwhal right away every time.
You'll thank me later.
His attack with Croaker. I guess it's worth Croakering here. I really just do need to open up options.
I don't change fate, but I can see it.
That's honestly not even a bad draw. I'll find a use for that.
Picked the wrong road.
Probably just use it now. The second Starspring isn't really doing much this early. Could play it next turn. Just want to make sure the hired gun is hitting something valuable. And 3/2 Conspirator with permanent elusive is valuable enough.
Mystical levitation requires concentration.
Never Conjuring here. Alright. So he's dealing some damage here. We should be able to be kind of fine afterwards. Hard gun's great value here, of course. Wow, interesting. He's got Pale Cascade to be attacking with Goat there. That's the only thing that would make you attack with Goat there. But I can't generate more damaged units anyway, right? So I think I just want to trade down with my 2/3 to the Goat. Has to be correct. If we put him on Pale Cascade, because we can't counter Pale with Pale here. Yeah, I think this is the safer play. No reason to do anything weird here. Just kill his elusives next turn. 9's a little low. It's pretty easy for him to kill 9 with just like a redeveloped elusive attack. Could be kind of awkward. Like, we can kill his, like, his Navori Blade Scout's losing the elusive. And the Navori Conspirator, we can just punch. But it might not be enough. Like, this is where usually, like, having a single copy of Hush goes a really long way. She just needs to survive one more attack, right? Yeah, surviving one more attack without Hush here might be really hard.
Today we hunt.
Don't you feel responsible for making a decent Piltover University deck? Statue kind of looks like you. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's a really, really bad card.
Wait, I shoot.
Ariel spirit.
I mean, all I need to do is draw like Hush or Guiding Touch, and I feel fine. But yeah, without either, we might just lose. It's like pretty easy for him to just blow us up in one attack. He's got a 4-card hand. I mean, we were able to kill his duo early. He has a hard to. Ooh. Well, that's nice. Wow, could he even be on options? Don't I just Star Spring here? Isn't it literally impossible for him to be on anything off that pass? What the hell? I mean, I have to pass. Elusives always have a chance to win with like a blowout hand though, unless you have Hush. So, I mean, you're never safe against them.
The possibilities are infinite. I am here to help.
Down from the trees.
So, he gems 5 times, and then he pales once. And then we Astral Protection into Hush and win the game. What an easy game this was.
Live with purpose. Take heart.
Fuck, we lost. How did this happen?
Their way
Oh, wow.
is unclear.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the tournament version of this deck will have to be running 3 Hushes. Hush is such a ridiculous card at 2 mana. It's like there's so many games where just having like 1 copy of Hush just wins me the game. Oh, tournament video? Oh, yeah. Let's check out the tournament video. Shit, I almost forgot. Seasonal tournaments coming to Runeterra. Here we go. Let's pull it up.
So you've mastered the moves and pulled off big plays. Think you're on top of the world? Time to find out for sure. Get ready for seasonal tournaments. These tournaments are the apex of competition in Legends of Runeterra, exclusively for the best of the best, and supported fully in-game. At the end of every season, 1,024 players on each server shard will be able to compete for pride, glory, and a cash prize. There are 2 ways to qualify for a seasonal tournament: ranked and gauntlets. Be one of the top 700 ranked players on your server shard at the end of the season, and you'll automatically qualify for the tournament. Good luck climbing to the top.
Top
and holding
700.
your spot. 324 more
So
players
they're just
can
inviting
qualify
everyone,
by being
huh?
the first to achieve 7 wins in the high-stakes Last Chance Gauntlet, which takes into account your performance in previous gauntlets throughout the season. Here's how it works. Get 7 wins on your first attempt at a weekly gauntlet to achieve a Prime Glory. Each Prime Glory you earn throughout the season up to 5 counts as an automatic win in the Last Chance Gauntlet. Be one of the first to complete the Last Chance Gauntlet with 7 wins to earn that final glory and qualify for the tournament. The more Prime Glories you have, the more likely you'll be one of the first 324 players to finish. So make sure to compete in a gauntlet each week. Between ranked and gauntlets, 1,024
We'll have to
players
see
will
how
make
that
the cut
gauntlet system
and
works
move on
out.
to the 2-day tournament. The first day kicks off with 5 Swiss rounds of best of 3 matches to determine the top 32 players. These finalists advance to the second stage of the tournament to compete in a single elimination bracket, which will be broadcast to the Legends of Runeterra community. The victor will be crowned season champion and win the grand prize of $10,000. The first tournament begins in 2 months at the end of the Monuments of
I love
Power
my
season.
32 players
The
single
first day of
elims.
Swiss rounds will take
Enjoy
place
that
on
3%er.
December 6th, and the final bracket will take place a week later on December 13th. Whether you rise through rank or take on gauntlets, if you've got the skill, you've got a shot. Seasonal tournaments are the ultimate way to prove you're the best in Runeterra and on the path to going pro. Everyone can compete, and it's anyone's game. Each season needs a champion, and that champion could be you.
That's pretty neat. So, in-game seasonal tournaments, very cool. Very, very, very cool. I think that's definitely something the game needs. It's always a little concerning whenever you have like ladder invited tournaments. There's always gonna be like some degree of, you know, people scumming built in, like a lot of things. You'll see like a lot more like, because there's kind of like a lot of gray areas on ladder. Like for example, when we look at Gwent tournaments, a lot of like, there were a lot of people that were getting invited to Gwent tournaments that ended up like, there was a lot of drama with like some people doing stuff like win trading or, you know, which is kind of like expected because as soon as there's like a lot on the line, you do kind of expect there to be like a lot of shady tactics. But I mean, I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem. Looks like a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to getting more back into the tournament scene in Runeterra. I had a lot of fun playing in the fight night last week. I'm going to enjoy playing in the one tomorrow as well. We'll see if I'm going to be able to bring this deck. I want to play it more today so that I have the ability to refine it. I actually need to figure out after this game, though. This might have to be my last game for now. I have to go see a guy about a thing. And then I might be back in like a few hours. Honestly, my schedule today is going to be kind of wonky. like really, really awkward. I mean, in theory, this is... I think that this deck can be built in a way that makes this a favored matchup. But it needs to be played and built right. It's really weird. I think Tahm Kench should be a pretty integral part of this matchup feeling great. Still have yet to actually draw Tahm Kench against Lee Sin, though. I guess I will just croak her.
For silver I talk, for gold I listen.
Oh, that's weird. Is he thinking about not attacking here? Oh, please troll. Please press spacebar. I'd love that. Whee! Cool. I guess I'm just chilling, honestly. I actually don't have to do anything weird here. He doesn't really have a lot of interactions. We actually have a pretty good opener hands. I think in theory this should feel pretty good in this matchup. I could probably get this 2 in for free, but I don't think this is gonna be face damage isn't gonna be my win condition when I have this kind of like turn 3 board. And we have a really, really good hand right now. Like just a bunch of double tricks. Should go a pretty long way here. We might want to try to keep Hush open. The fact that he open attacked is a little concerning there. It's actually pretty easy for him to have a double trick that kind of plows me. 1 mana short of doing anything crazy. I think I might have to let this one hit me for 5. Killing the mentor actually worth it?
This is outrage.
I could see an argument to just actually not doing anything here at all. The weird thing is like, okay, so blocking mentor gives me a damaged unit, which I do really need. Giving him the gems is obviously kind of awkward. But if he's... It's a weird open attack. You have to have a fairly specific hand to take that. And he can't really do anything while I'm tapped out here, so this is a good turn to just play Hunting Fleet.
Foul creature.
This feels good. The most important thing is like, when you look at my hands, next turn I'm gonna have 6 total mana, which is really, really important. This turn I got kind of cucked because I only had 5 mana, so I only had 2 tricks. If I had 1 more mana, I probably could have played that turn pretty differently. Wow. That, ooh. Can that be worth it? I mean, that's really funny. I don't mind him doing that. He must have a really awkward hand if that's his play though. All right, cool. Sweet. And yeah, I mean, with 3 mana, it's just like we can just kind of like do whatever here. So we can also potentially hired gun. I don't know if I actually just kind of want to keep full tricks more so than anything else. And we don't have a way to kill Narwhal without playing another button. So I think the easy thing to do is just kind of like open attack like this and then just use Sunblessed Vigor. Seems kind of free. The only question we have to ask ourselves is like how much. So he should usually like do something into Pale Cascade here, Guiding Touch into Pale, or maybe even open Hush. Yeah, that's fine. We just kind of want to beat his Pale with our Hush. So our next play wants to be our Pale Cascade, and then when he Pale Cascades, that's when we Hush. He just has a second Hush. That's pretty funny. Well, in that case... Wow. If he had a Pale, it would be kind of insane to not use it there. I think I'd rather Pale than Hush here. I kind of have to. There's some chance that my guy dies, but Hush is a little too important to save against Lee Sin. And I think if he had Pale, he should have used it there first anyway. And of course, you know, we can't expect him to have the 3rd Hush. So taking the Pale there is just a better play. And this feels pretty good. Like, Hush can be a nice safety net against Lee Sin. The scariest thing is now, like, Lee Sin, Bastion hands. So he draws Lee Sin. What are the odds we could try to kill it with Tahm Kench? With our boy. I mean, if he drags us, we can sometimes just blow it out with Hush here, right? Doesn't it just get, like, completely fucked sometimes? Yeah, I guess I'm just kenching.
I've been propagating quite the appetite.
Still have the 2 mana open.
I see feast in your future.
The one awkwardness with this matchup, like, in theory, Kench is pretty great here.
I'll see this through.
There's one major issue with that, which is that this deck actually runs nothing that gets countered by Notify or Deny. Literally not a single card, except for Acquired Taste. So there's an argument to be made that, like, Tahm Kench just kind of feeds their Notify or Deny in this matchup.
Yeah! Conflict is all in the mind.
He goofed with the Sonic Wave.
With the dragon
Yeah,
fury.
that was weird.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah, I guess I'm just blocking the goat. I mean, does killing the goat even do anything here?
My comestibles are getting cold.
You pay first.
Killing the goat does pretty little. It allows me to, like, hired gun Lee Sin potentially. I think I kind of need to eat Lee Sin and keep maximum mana up for Tahm Kench. Hush the Lee to kill him. How does hushing Lee kill him? It's kind of weird, but I actually don't think I can Pale Cascade. I think I have to assume the goat's not mattering here. So how many ways does he have of protecting his Lee Sin from Tahm Kench? Probably just Deny or Notify is kind of the biggest thing.
Where there's a will, there's a meal.
Do I just eat it now? If he has like Zenith Blade or something. Yeah, I guess I'm just eating this now. We basically have to assume that, like, so he should buff the Lee. He should. This is usually like a Pale. Sometimes it's a Bastion. Sometimes it's a Notify. Sometimes it's a Deny. Deep Med is good for us to see there because it means he has a hard time, like, having enough mana for tons of scary stuff. So now we can Hush just to basically kill the Lee Sin. So he needs second Pale, and even then we can actually use our single Pale and we're good. So that feels pretty good. I mean, he shouldn't have the second Lee Sin, right? Though he's playing. Wow, he actually did have the other Pale. That's really funny.
Plenty of room inside.
Daddy.
6 out of 22 is also pretty slow. So this is kind of like, and it might have been wrong, but that's kind of the reason I don't really like hired gunning, like paling. This is why we didn't use Pale last turn to kill the goat. Like, at the end of the day, as tempting as it is, the most important thing is, like, the goat kind of can't matter, whereas keeping Pale Cascade in our hands actually can. We'll have to see how this goes, though. I mean, I have a nice hand, but if he has, like, second Lee... He doesn't have enough mana to kill me with second Lee. Yeah, I guess I'm probably okay. And I'm killing him next turn even without Star Spring. Yeah, Star Spring might have a really hard time being a reliable win condition in this matchup. He does have the other Lee. Alright. We are going to want to see what we get off these options, for sure. Croaker first. There's a few draws that actually make me move in for this first, actually. Not that. I'm crokering now. So what happens here? He gets his other Lee Sin back. But even if he can get his other Lee Sin back at this point, I think I'm still good, which is pretty funny. So if he kills my Tahm, he deals 5 damage. The 5 damage can't really matter. And then he just has 2 Lee Sins, which is hilarious. How much do I mind that? Hush Tahm? Hush Tahm? Just to stop a Lee Sin? I mean, Lee Sin is potentially a blocker next turn. Hushing Tahm seems pretty awkward here. Wouldn't let me play Soraka this turn. Like, the biggest argument I can see on this Hush is just like... Okay, so the big question we have to ask ourselves is, like, what's the win condition here? Our Star Spring is potentially a little too slow. I don't think I might actually have to Hush the Tahm. That does feel really bad.
My comestibles are getting cold.
Like, not being able to play the Soraka or the Lizard this turn is pretty awkward. So, yeah, it feels bad. He had the second Lee Sin. We're pretty behind here. Like, we do have some draws to maybe get there, but this doesn't feel great. Ten is gonna be a little bit out of our range here. And we're lacking our... Like, we're supposed to draw, like, 4 here off of Soraka, but we're only going to draw an extra +1. We've got 2 draws to basically survive the next attack. I have no choice but to Soraka to at least, like, help our draw option. Yeah, surviving this last attack is going to be pretty hard. Yeah, looks like we're screwed. That feels bad. I do like the fact that, I mean, we did force him to need the second Lee Sin. But, yeah, I mean, I can't beat the second Lee Sin hand here. That's not happening. Guiding Touch is solid for him. No Shakedown. Shakedown's kind of funny because you can deny Dragon's Kick if they drag a weak unit.
I have consulted the stars.
Is there a way I can force him to drag a weak unit, though? Not really. Takes a pass there. This is weird. Health can't matter here. Yeah, we basically... I mean, even if we top deck Hush, most hands beat a top deck of something like Hush at this point. Yeah, second Deep Meditation. He's got to be good here. We basically... What we need to do to win this game is top deck like 2 Guiding Touches into a Hush or something like that. Attack for draw. Well, we have to draw this turn anyway because of Star Spring. The only thing that's important is to make sure that if we survive the next attack, which is pretty unlikely, but if we have a way to survive the next attack, then we'll have a way to actually get the trigger off. I guess I can attack here. Now that he's tapped out. Zap's a good example of of a draw that rewards us for attacking here instead of waiting for the Star Spring. Because this is a slow speed thing and he's open attacking. And it could actually give us an option. It's like, I mean, we're slim here, but, you know, if we draw like Guiding Touch, and then if Guiding Touch has the ability to draw us into like, you know, Hush, there's ways. There's ways of this working. Second Guiding Touch. Yeah, these are examples of ways of this working.
I'll see this through.
Hush is left. Oh yeah, we have used both Hushes. Oh, he drags the 2 health one. That's really funny. So all we have to do is hit Shakedown and we're good. It's a rough matchup. It's so sad. I don't want to bring Lisa into the tournament tomorrow, but I might just have to. It's like, I'll experiment with ways to tech that matchup, but it's going to be hard for it to be nuts. It's going to be hard for it to be nuts. Here, let me, I'm going to be right back. Alright guys, I've got to go now. I'm sorry. I know this was like a weird scattered stream. I'll actually be back in some number of hours. I have no idea how many hours. A couple, maybe more. Really, I have no idea. I'll do the garbage deck activate when I get back if you post it again. I'll see you guys in some number of hours. Sorry about this, guys.